This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. We're talking about this little beast today. This little box of delights is the Fazley Meteor 15 amplifier, and I'll tell you all about it right after we've heard what it sounds like in a mix. And as always, there's a full tab for that piece of music in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, along with a clip of me playing it and a jam track for you to play along with for yourself. All of that is up on my Patreon page. There's the address and the link is in the description. $3 or £2.50 a month gets you access to all of these additional resources that go along with these YouTube videos. A massive, massive thank you to everybody who supports me in that or any of the other ways, all of which are linked down below. So, what's this amp all about then? Well, you may already know if you saw the unboxing video on Thursday that this is a 15 watt, 2-channel, solid-state practice amp. Let's have a little bit of a look at, well, the settings I was using in that demo piece there. Which also gives us an excuse to look at the top panel of the amplifier. You can see you've got a gain control for the overdrive. Then moving along the panel, you've got the channel switch there, that little push button. That is the only way that you can switch channels on this amp. There's no foot switching capability at all. It's that button or nothing. But would you really need to use it? We'll talk about that in a moment. Master volume, then treble, middle and bass, and a headphone output, and that's your lot. That's basically what this amp gives you. There's no effects loop, there's no reverb, nothing on the back panel to interact with, no kind of connectivity or extra switches or anything lurking back there. That, what you see there, is what you get. Now then, This question of the channel switching, you can use the clean channel, and if you saw the unboxing video on Thursday, you will know that it's not something you might really want to do, because the clean sound from the clean channel is frankly a bit uninspiring. It's dull, it's woolly, it's muffled sounding. It's not a good sound at all, in my opinion. Your mileage may vary. You might try it and think it's absolutely heavenly, but I didn't think so. For the clean tones, I was using the overdrive channel once again. There's your settings there, and I was just simply backing off the guitar's volume control. We're going to hear some isolated tones in a moment. Let's start off with those isolated tones. Actually, the power chord kind of part here, I was using Blondie, my signature guitar, and I don't know if you can see, but let's bring that close up to the camera. I don't know if you can see, there's a little kind of indent on the volume control, and when it's at the top, like here, that is when the volume is on full. I was rolling it down till it was like 180 degrees kind of facing down, with once again those settings on the top of the amp, and that was the tone I was getting for the intro kind of power chords, and on its own that sounds like this. And of course, I was using a little bit of, I added a little bit of reverb in Reaper when I recorded it. For the strummy tones, I was using the Fazley Outlaw Coyote Plus, that Telecaster copy, that really good value, that guitar actually, 150 quid or so, fantastic guitar. But I was using that, once again, same settings with the volume control on the guitar backed off, and that sounded like this. Then it just kind of struck me that I wanted some kind of Knopfler-y sounding lead part for the verse sections, you know, that kind of quacky strat in between sort of position. So I was using the Larry Carlton S7, you can see on the wall behind me there, in the bridge and middle position, and again, volume control backed off to clean it up a bit, and that sounded like this. Then for the shoutier stuff, I went to the PRS S2 Standard 24 Satin. Fantastic guitar, I really love that guitar. And the first solo, once again, I was using these settings, but with the guitar's volume control absolutely maxed out, just full throttle, to get a big classic rock lead sound. And on its own, that sounds like this. And once again, just stress there that I added a little bit of delay and reverb in Reaper, just to kind of, well, because that's what you do, really, isn't it? Certainly what I did. Then for the second solo, the one that ends the track, I kept all the settings basically the same. Let's have a look at them again, except for the overdrive, that gain control. I just kind of wound that up right to the top of the scale, just maxed it out. And a curious thing happens when you do that. You don't get a lot of variation from, say, about halfway to 3/4. You know, it gets a little bit crunchier perhaps, but not noticeably so. Then that last quarter turn, dear me, it just takes off and takes flight. The sustain that I was getting out of that setting was fantastic, and it really kind of real bloom to the notes as well. So I'll tell you what, let's have a listen to that in isolation as well. So all of those tones out of one channel on this £52, I forgot to mention that earlier, this amplifier costs £52. All of those tones out of one channel on this £52 15 watt practice amp. That's staggering. It's got like a really kind of martially kind of vibe to it, to my kind of ear, especially like the crunchy power chord sort of tones. We've got a very plexy kind of tone to it, and you know, you kind of wind the that overdrive up, and it gets more kind of like a modern Marshall kind of tone. Absolutely killer tones. I've been using this amp for the last couple of days in lessons that I just do on Zoom, you know, and okay, so a Zoom connection isn't the best, you know, kind of way of gauging how good a guitar tone is, but a few people commented that what have you done to your amp? It sounds absolutely fantastic. Normally, as you can see, I use the little Marshall DSL1 combo there, and people were commenting that this £52 Fazley was an improvement in tone. It kind of makes you think, doesn't it? So I got two amplifiers sent to me by Bax Music, who own the Fazley brand. You may have seen last week I did a couple of videos with the Galactic Tube 5, a little kind of tweed style 5 watt all tube amplifier. I think they're about £174. This is £52. This is the one I prefer, mainly because it gives me more of that kind of Marshall grunt. You know, I'm not keeping it. I don't get to keep these things that Bax Music send me, and I'm not getting paid for making this video, and my thoughts are my own. If I was getting paid, I wouldn't have told you that the clean channel sucked on it, and it genuinely does. It's not a pleasant sound at all. But you don't need it. Just get one of these and think of it as a single channel amplifier, an old school amplifier where you clean things up by using the guitar's volume control. And you know, if that's the way, like me, that you like to play with an amp anyway, then you're going to have a lot of fun with this little amplifier. What could it improve? Well, maybe an effects loop, so you can throw in a little bit of reverb, maybe just a cheap Behringer reverb, digital reverb pedal like that, or you know, maybe you've got an old Zoom pedal or something like that you like to kind of get choruses and reverbs and stuff like that. That going into an effects loop would probably give better results than going into the front end of the amp, because it's generally accepted that, you know, if you add reverb to an overdriven sound, if you reverb an overdriven sound, it sounds better than overdriving a reverbed sound. You know, it tends to the overdrive tends to kind of make the reverb or chorus or anything like that sound a bit raggy and flabby and not particularly pleasant. So it would be nice to get a reverb into an effects loop on there, but you know, if you're recording with it, just add it in Reaper like I did. So there you go, folks. That is my review of the Fazley Meteor 15, a 15 watt 2 channel, but you're only really going to use one, solid state practice amp. Make of it what you will. That's pretty much the video for today. Hope you've enjoyed it and found it useful and informative in some small way, and if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so, and why not drop me a like while you're at it. Don't forget the live stream every Friday 5 PM UK time, where we drink beer and talk about music and guitars. Great way to kick off the weekend. I'd love to see you there if you can make it. Oh, before I go, don't forget you can click on the link in the description to check out the spec of that amplifier. It's not an affiliate link, although it does kind of trace back to me, so Bax Music can tell where their traffic is coming from. I forgot to mention that earlier. But that's pretty much it for today, folks. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.